If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener. All right, guys. I don't know if you've heard of this guy. There's this guy named David Bowie. He made some music. I don't know if you've heard of him, but here at Vin and Sori, we are always looking for underground artists, people that other people haven't heard before.
Yeah, so up next on our list is David Bowie.
David Bowie! And everybody who knows Soraya knows that this is a massive accomplishment in Vin and Sori history.
Yes and no, because if you were watching my eyes, I still wasn't convinced I said it right.
Aha! Aha!
All right, you guys, David Bowie. This is another song that won our top 6 free-for-all poll. It was nominated by a nobody named Revo. This song is 5 years as performed by David Bowie on the show Top of the Pops. This uploader added a message of global warming in the video itself, but that's not necessarily the message of the song or album. I wanted to find a video of this performance that wasn't from the official David Bowie site. Appreciate ya.
Yes, let's do it.
So this one is from Revo.
Ziggy Stardust's first climate crisis. David Bowie.
5 years. But remember, he added the global warming thing, but he's saying he doesn't think that's what the song's about. But just so you don't get, led off in another direction. Post that.
Well, I may still end up talking about climate change.
You may agree with the poster.
Very subdued.
Pushing through the market square, so many mothers sighing. News had just come over. We had 5 years left crying. News guy wept and told us Earth was really dying. Cried so much his face was wet. Then I knew he was not lying. I heard telephones, opera house, favorite melodies. I saw boys, toys, electric irons and TVs. My brain hurt like a warehouse. It had no room to spare. I had to cram so many things to store everything in there. And all the fat, skinny people, and all the tall, short people, and all the nobody people, and all the somebody people. I never thought I'd need so many people.
Oh, wow.
Girl my age went off ahead. Hit some tiny children. black hadn't pulled her off, I think she would have killed them. A soldier with a broken arm fixed his stare to the wheels of a Cadillac. The cop knelt and kissed the feet of a priest, and the queer threw up the sight of that. I think I saw you in an ice cream parlor, drinking milkshakes cold and long, smiling and waving and looking so fine. Don't think you knew you were in the song. And it was cold and it rained, so I felt like an actor, and I thought of more, and I wanted to get back there. Your face, your race, the way that you talk, I kiss you, you're beautiful, I want you to walk. We got 5 years stuck on my 5 years. What a surprise, we got 5 years. My brain hurts a lot. 5 years, that's all we got. We got 5 years. What a surprise. 5 years stuck on mine. We got 5 years. My brain hurts a lot. 5 years, that's all we got. We got 5 years stuck on mine. 5 years, what a surprise. We've got 5 years. My brain hurts a lot. 5 years, that's all we got. We got 5 years. What a surprise. We got 5 years stuck on mine. We got 5 years. My brain hurts a lot. 5 years, that's all we got. 5 years. 5 years.
Yeah, that that last section kind of like dominates the kind of interpretation of the video, because you keep hearing we got 5 years, and you know that's kind of like the what do you call it? You know, the Al Gore stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like Al Gore was like, we're gonna be gone in 11th
yeah,
hour,
yeah.
it's over, we're all gonna die. Speaking of dying, birth symbolizes people not dying but living. This, dear listener, is called Fuji Beer Formula. We had some issues with the digestive systems of some of our kids. A lot of that has to do with the fact that American formula hasn't been significantly updated since before we were born, literally 1980, literally before we were born.
8 years after this song came out, that's when they did it.
8 years after this song came out is the last time baby formula was significantly updated in America.
Scary.
On top of the formula shortage crisis, it put us in a situation where we had a kid who was not doing well with regular American formula. We had to put him on soy. The soy was disgusting. It smelled horrible. He hated it. So he found this formula, gave it to him. I started twisting him up and down, waiting for him to throw up. He never did.
Everybody's going to throw up after they've been spun around after eating like that, but he never did.
He loved it. He loved it.
He did.
So we decided, hell, we should give this to everybody, but we got to make it affordable for moms, because European formula is pretty crazy. So there you go. Go to Amazon.com. Our website is being developed. If you just type Fuji in Amazon.com, you will find it there for yourself or somebody that you love. Send me an email, VinandSori@gmail.com. If you made a purchase, send me a read receipt, and you will get something very interesting. Having said that, the song is about... So here's the thing. Immediately now I'm like, okay, 5 years is about global warming, blah, blah, blah. But I remember Bowie had this like space character.
Okay.
that like span throughout like a bunch of his records.
Right here, the rise and fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. Is that
I feel like Ziggy Stardust. I feel like is a Revo. Help me here. Ziggy Stardust is a like an alter ego slash character of him.
Yeah, okay.
Like it's him, and so like a lot of his music has been like, I think it's called the Space Odyssey something.
Okay.
But so I don't know if the 5 years is about like in the timeline of the story, and then the person who did the video decided, oh, we're gonna add, you know, some climate change, yada yada, to this, you know, because a 5 years thing is a really. But I don't know that that's the original meaning of the song. I don't know that he was concerned about global warming that early. Okay, here we go. First song on the album, Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, kind of the introduction to the conceptual album. Okay, this is the opening song of the Ziggy Stardust narrative. Okay, so it's an alter ego for this concept. This is the opening track, right? Yeah. So I doubt very highly that he was worrying about climate change as early as 1972. Like,
well,
I think,
especially if you're saying this is a concept album of something. I mean, Moonlit Daydream, Starman, Lady Stardust, like Star. Right. It does Ziggy Stardust. It sounds like it doesn't sound like it's here.
Right. Exactly. So I think Revo has more of the story, but this is actually the opening track for the Ziggy Stardust narrative character in the first place. So this is kind of like a historical song.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that climate change is not important. All I'm saying is breaking down the lyrics is the number. Hey, Denny Lee in the house. Long time no see.
Hi.
I just want to break it down like as close to the intended meaning as possible.
Sure.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
so
of course it does.
Pushing through the market square, so many mothers sighing. News had just come over. We had 5 years left to cry in. So I guess there was some like announcement, maybe a meteor
Earth is
or something.
Really dying right there.
Meteor or something that's going to hit the Earth or something. News guy wept and told us Earth was really dying. Cried so much his face was wet. Then I knew he wasn't lying. I heard telephones, opera house, favorite melodies. I saw boys, toys, electric irons, and TVs. My brain hurt like a warehouse. It had no room to spare. I had to cram so many things to store everything in there. And all the fat, skinny people, and all the fat, skinny people. And
all the tall, short people, and all the nobody people,
and all the
somebody people.
I never thought I'd need so many people. Okay, so
that part like confused me. Like when he said the beginning part, it sounded like there's some tragedies coming to the world, which maybe is what shoots him into the stratosphere to do the Ziggy Stardust stuff. I don't know, because I'm not familiar with any of the storyline really.
Right.
But it looks like something bad's happening. It's going to be ending. We're all going to. Life as we know it is going to end in 5 years. But then when he says all the fat, skinny people, all the tall, short people, I never thought I'd need so many people. What is he saying? Like he wants all these? I don't understand why he's saying that.
I think that's the need for human connection in the face of a disaster, like a communal.
He doesn't want,
a communal disaster.
Right.
Because it's going to happen to everybody. He says, "I never thought I'd need so many people."
Yeah, exactly.
He needs people around him.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was like, okay, whatever's coming, he's thinking about how this is gonna. Because we'll see those movies of like. There's been some big giant calamity and then the people are everything turns into a ghost town. There's a bunch of ghost towns.
Yes.
People are running around. It's a lot more dangerous, blah, blah, blah. So I didn't know if that's what he was saying. Like, I mean, is there such a thing as a fat, skinny person or a tall, short person? Like,
well,
why did he do that?
Well, if you say fat, skinny people, I think
is he saying the whole gamut of fat to skinny?
It's a merism, right? Where like you say Dan to Beersheba or from New York to California. Yeah. So I think what he's doing is he's saying, I need all kinds of people.
I need everybody.
I need the fat, skinny people. I need tall, short people. Like it's the gamut of
nobody people,
of
somebody
everybody.
People. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think in the '90s, late '90s, early there were these disaster movies. There are like a couple of them.
And there was something ended tomorrow. There was Volcano.
The day after tomorrow, Volcano, blah, blah, blah. And it's one of these things where you're going to have like a mass extinction event.
Yeah.
And it's like, we've got this ship. We're going to send like 9 people to Mars. They're going to repopulate. The humanity is going to go on. But all of it, Morgan Freeman gets on TV and says, my fellow Americans, blah, blah, blah. You're all going to die, whatever.
Babe, those movies were interesting to me, but never affected me because that's how pompous I was about being in America. I was like, well, that shit would never happen. We're in America. This is America.
We would never die.
That would never happen. Yeah. It would never be a massive freeze here. We'd figure something out. Isn't that crazy?
Oh my
and that was a
God.
kid growing up. So back to your story.
Oh my God, you're.
It just gets even more intense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It does kind of seem like, because he says girl my age went off, hit some tiny children. If the black hadn't pulled her off, I think she would have killed him. Are they saying like, is he basically, he's talking about a black person pulled her off from almost killing these kids? Is he basically saying, like, look, we all need, if that guy hadn't have been there,
Yeah, a girl my age
these kids
went
would
off.
have been dead. We needed him, you know,
A soldier with a broken arm fixes stairs to the wheels of a Cadillac. This guy's a crazy ass writer, man.
Yeah, I felt all these lines.
A soldier
like,
with a broken arm fixed his stair on the wheels of a Cadillac. You know, broken, fixed. It's just he's just a brilliant little bit of Easter eggs, but the dude is mega talented, man.
Yeah, okay.
Independence Day, the other one with the aliens.
Independence Day, yeah.
The aliens were coming through.
Yep.
Independence Day was great because it's like everybody was coming together, but it was the United States that fucked everybody up. It was the Americans that destroyed the aliens. We got in there.
Yeah.
Will Smith commandeered that shit.
Yeah.
Will Smith couldn't do. He didn't have. You know, first it was the aliens, and he
I don't think I saw
graduated
that one.
smacking the shit out of Chris Rock. Shout out to Will Smith.
No. All for a woman. We have a lot of influence, I guess. Okay.
Holy shit.
What?
Somebody who I love very dearly, they just bought Fuji. Their daughter is 11 weeks pregnant, but she's had like 9 miscarriages. So please pray for her.
Yeah.
That would be really awesome if the first formula that he gives her would be from us. That would be great, because that girl, please.
You said 11? Did you say 11? Did I
She's
miss
11 weeks along.
She's 11 weeks along. And you said she had a miscarriage in the
She's
past?
had multiple.
You did say multiple. Oh, God. I thought you said 11 of them.
She's
sorry to hear
she's in
that.
her low 20s. And, you know, traditional Catholic girl loves kids, and it's fucking brutal. Because every year she's at the gravestone, all that. So hopefully
if you
works.
wanna message me, send a message to vinandsori@gmail.com, and I'll get you my secret email. So, because I know the feeling.
So, but I want to go back to that. Like, I remember during 9/11 how people were with each other.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As I always say, like, because Dorian's a big lover of this country, and I'm like, dude, I wish you could have been here like 3 or 4 weeks after 9/11. It was like the most beautiful, like, experience I've ever had in my life as like as an American in this country. And it really like 9/11 really made me, because before I'm like, yeah, I was born, you know, whatever. So like at the Olympics, I'd cheer for the Jamaicans and the Americans and all that. After 9/11, I was like, I am 100,000% American. Like, fuck that. Like, this is my, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and it was the people, man. Like, you had this like crazy like love for every single American. Like, everybody was like, yo, you good? You okay? That type of thing. My brother was calling me. He's like, yo, I was on a train. Dude was looking at me, grilling me, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what? And then dude was like, yo, you good? To my brother, like, you know, everybody's taking care of everybody. I mean, I talked to people who went down there in the cleanup effort, because they were getting like regular people to help because of the carnage was insane.
Yeah.
And dude was talking about, like, I mean, horrible shit, man. Body parts, all types of shit. These are regular people. So, like, especially New York, like a city that was known for, you know, being a cold city, being a kind of, you know, like it was.
Shoot. Whew. I don't know.
So, like, those disasters, like, if there was, like, a thing that said, look, we've got 5 years to live, this meteor's coming, and, you know, Elon can't figure it out because we canceled him. So Elon, you know, basically says, oh, I'm this horrible person. Okay, I'm going to fucking take a SpaceX ship to Mars. Fuck you guys. Right? So let's set that up. Let's set that disaster up.
Yeah.
And, like, we would interface a lot differently if all of us knew we only had 5 years left. Everybody would be treating everybody so much differently if you thought there were only 5 years left.
Yep.
Like,
I mean, that's what, you know.
Delaney in the house. Holy
sometimes I
shizzle
think,
whizzle.
hey.
Delaney, one of my favorite human beings of all time.
Sometimes I think, like, this is going to sound so bad, so please hear the spirit of what I'm saying, that when there are, like, terminal illnesses that kind of enter a family, like, it's a tragedy for sure. But then at the same time, like, sometimes, like, I've heard a lot of people say that that's kind of one of their regrets is, one, not having more kids. Like, even people that had, like, bunches of kids, they always said, like, they always wanted more kids. But also, like, holding on to grudges or holding on to, like, where you could have had a relationship with somebody, but because they did something or you did something, you guys couldn't bridge that gap. And that's another one of the conveniences of the Christian religion, is that you understand that everybody's got problems and everybody's a sinner. Everybody's going to do stuff. So Vin's going to hurt me and I'm going to hurt Vin. But we know at the end of the day that we love each other and we're not trying to hurt each other. So we're going to work through that stuff. And I think that when there's stuff like that, where there's like a terminal illness or something, it kind of gives people like that recognition of the brevity of life and how people are here, but you're not getting, everybody in your life is a gift to you and you are a gift to them. Nobody's guaranteed anything. And so, like, when we can look at each other like, okay, like, I have you here today, but I'm not guaranteed, you know, tomorrow or 3 years from now. Like, we don't know what's going to happen. So obviously that stuff is difficult, but I do think that, you know, like that. And I also think that, like, tragedies as far as, like, okay, here comes a, you know, if we were going to have a meteor was going to hit the earth, that would also be one of those things that people would be like, okay, we got to start taking stuff seriously and thinking stuff, you know, some things you just wouldn't make a big deal of. Like, some things, like, I think sometimes we need to laugh stuff off. Like, some stuff is just not that deep, man. I agree. You know, like,
I agree.
We sacrifice everything for our own ego so much that we'll run over other people and hurt other people and harm other people and not recognize the fragile state that somebody else may be in because we don't know what's going on with them. And I do think that a lot of times, like, in our community, I think we're pretty good about saying, like, I need help. You know what I mean? Like, I think that we're good about saying, I feel very dark, I feel very depressed, I feel very whatever. But are we also good at being able to say, okay, I've sat enough in that? And so, like that's kind of what I've been working on. Like, that's kind of, I know we're kind of like taking a little circuitous route here, but I've been working on that, like, that, you know, we don't, when a situation happens that makes you sad or angry or whatever, like, deal with that thing, but don't hold that negative feeling. You can't hold that negative feeling. Don't hold on to the feelings of suicide or the different things like that, because all that stuff, it just makes a darkness and brings us deeper and deeper and deeper. But again, like, to circle that around, like, if we thought that that life was going to be over in 6 months, I mean, how, like, I think maybe people would, out of fear, take their own lives. But I think that there's a lot of people that'd be like, well, I mean, it's over in 6 months anyway, so fuck it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I mean, let's just do what we can in these 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, it would put a lot of things, you know, into perspective for everybody, and that's really the that's really the point, ultimately, especially, like, when you have that definitive X amount of years to live. Like, it just, it's crazy. It's a crazy like situation to be in. Like, yeah. Like, we're following a guy and he's got weeks to live, and we learned so much from him. Yeah. And, you know, we were talking about it last night because he basically said, I've never
seen anything like this.
Yeah, me neither. He's like, I got a couple weeks to live. He's like, pretty soon I'm going to go off to be in the council and take my place and rule the universe with Jesus. He said, I gave it all for you guys. I left everything on the field. Now it's time for you to go carry on the work. I'm out of here. You're not going to hear from me again.
Yeah, he didn't look like he felt bad for any of us or himself.
He's like, he just said, like, yo, he said, I'm done. It's over with. He's like, and so there hasn't been any follow-up post. He's just at home, and he's dying at home, and I'm sure when he dies, his wife will put out some whatever, but he's, like,
maybe
done.
He has something pre-typed she's going to post.
Yeah, I'm sure he shot a video or something, but, like, he's done. Like, but that's the thing where, like, this dude has come to the end of his life, and he's like, I fulfilled my purpose for why I'm here. I think that was, like, one of C.S. Lewis's last words, too. He was sick, he was dying, and then I think one of the last things he says to the people that were taking care of him, he says, he's like, I'm at peace. Basically, the purpose for which I was here has been fulfilled. And then, like a day later, they found him dead in his sleep, basically.
Wow.
But, like, that's the best of all possible worlds. Because you're not going to escape this planet and be able to say, I've never done anything wrong. Whether or not, I don't care what you call it, sin, selfishness, I don't care. You're never going to be able to say that. You're never going to be able to say I never made a mistake. You're never going to be able to say
Right.
I never hurt the people that love me. You're never going to be able to say I did as much good as I could have done. But what you can say is, the reason that I was here, I fulfilled it. And that is different than all those other things.
I like that.
Why are you here? And did you fulfill why you were here?
Because your entire purpose is not to bitch, moan, and complain to anyone and everyone around you in every post you put up on Facebook. I'm not speaking to anybody directly because I know people are going to be like, was that me? Was that me? I don't look at everybody's Facebook. In fact, I rarely go on Vin and Sori Facebook. I'm just saying I've seen other posts in other places where it's like, wow, every time this person talks, it's always complaining. And I don't necessarily have like, if the complaint is going to bring about a resolution, but complaining for the sake of complaining and just to say how shitty your life is not going to change your situation. Well, it is. It's going to make you more negative about it, and it's only going to keep bringing you, like, down.
I have found that purpose-oriented people are much happier.
Yeah.
And they're also much more... They're able to deal with bad negative situations better because there's a narrative in which they're putting that situation. So
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly,
I think living with purpose really is the big thing. And so there you go.
Yeah, because this is the small example, but it's a mothering one. Like, we all went out this Christmas. We went out to get our tree, and it was like friggin' bitter cold out, and one of the kids apparently misunderstood and thought that, well, they dragged their feet on getting their chores done, so they thought they were not going to be coming to the event. But it was a Christmas event. I wasn't going to not let somebody go. So I said, everybody hop in the car. Well, this person bolted into the car, no jacket, no gloves, no hat, nothing. Like, as a matter of fact, they were wearing a skirt, so it was even colder on their legs. So when we got there, I took off my jacket, and I was like, here, wear this jacket. And so my kid puts on the jacket, zips it up. Now, the whole time, I'm friggin' really uncomfortable because I don't have my jacket. But at the same time, I knew that my kid was warm. So it was like suffering for a greater cause. Like, my kid's warm, so I'm okay. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that it's like that for anything. Like, if you have a bigger reason, we can endure much more. We can traverse much more because we have a purpose and we have a goal. We have something that we're going to. If you have no purpose to your goal, you gotta get one. We have one for you if you'd like.
Yeah.
And it's not to buy Fuji. But it could be. Buy some Fuji.
It's to glorify God by enjoying Him and
forever.
Each other forever.
Yeah, it's joy. Joy and love is like a big, and that sounds so like My Little Pony-ish, but it's real. Like, when you look out in life, like, that's the realest, best moments that we've had has been. Look at those moments. The best moments of your life have been revolved around some sort of love for other people. And joy with that. Like, you'll see, start looking and you'll be like, okay, you know what I mean? This is about connection with other people. Just,
you've got three purposes in life: to know and be known, to love and be loved, to give and experience joy. Those are the three purposes of your life. And to know and be known is a beautiful thing. To know God and to be known by God, to know your neighbor and to be known by your neighbor, to love God and be loved by God, and to bring joy to others and have others bring joy to you. That's the sum total of all of the purpose of your life. And if you get those three things right, then you'll be unshakable. But it takes years and years and years
and it
of
takes
mental training.
Vulnerability. It really takes vulnerability. Like, I know, like, a lot of people that I talk to on Patreon, I'm like, these people are so cool. Like, the people that I'm talking to, I enjoy you guys' company. And I'm thinking to myself, like, some of these people, like, they're not in relationships, or they're not, like, they don't leave their house. And I'm thinking to myself, you have so much to offer, though. Like, you got to get yourself out there to let people experience who you are as a person and enjoy you. And there's always a crew for weird people. You know what I mean? Like, you just gotta look. But you gotta be out there looking. Mm-hmm. You'll find them. I mean, we're your people too, but you gotta have more than just us.
9, solid 9.
9. I'd match you with a 9.
Ziggy freaking Stardust, dear listener. Deep song.
Yep.
Deep song.
For the random Revo. All right, you guys. Up next, we've got some Van Morrison coming, so be on the lookout.
Yes, sir, Bob. We will check you guys later. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.